Good morning and welcome. This is the CS-Sensei Cybersecurity Mentorship Program. We meet Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, Daylight Savings Time or not. and we're here every Saturday, and everybody's welcome to attend. Right now we have a total of 5 people online. Chris and I are the mentors. And we also have mentees Melanie, Twyla, and Ron. Good morning, Ron. We saw you arrived. So, all right. So first off, let's do a mentees share. How has your week been? Anything go on cybersecurity-wise? Anything you learned? Anything you saw? Any resources you uncovered that you'd like to share about? Go ahead. Melanie, we'll start because you came on first. Anything go on this week for you?
Cybersecurity-wise, not really. I did notice something on Facebook that I think might be, so I've noticed some of my friends, there's I guess a group that's called Amazon Deals 90% off, which obviously is not a thing. And I've noticed that a lot of people I know are replying to these, this group is asking questions oh, what's your favorite color, and what was your high school mascot? And I'm okay, so I went into the group. I was what is the point of this group? And it was just a bunch of questions like that. I was is this to try to guess common password names? Because that's what it looks like to me. Because you're not going to get 90% off the Amazon deal. So I don't know what the deal with that group is, but that's what it struck me as. So I found that interesting.
And that was on Facebook, right?
Yeah, it was a group, but I guess it was public. The posts were public, and I'm why are my friends responding to this? Because it just seems what's the dog's name? What was your high school? The kind of stuff that people usually use for their passwords. And I'm is this
kind of stuff that you see in the security questions, right?
Yep. And I was
imagine that.
Yeah. A whole group, and I guess people joined it because they thought they were going to get 90% off Amazon.
90% off. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And all they do is they get trolled.
That's what it looks like to me. It's just asking those questions that people are responding to with, I said.
Yeah, Facebook is a big challenge. I mean, there are cybersecurity professionals that I know that refuse to go on Facebook because it is such a marketplace for, bad information. Also, you may not realize this, but I looked up the Federal Trade Commission over a year ago reported that 600,000 accounts are compromised each year in Facebook. And one of the easiest ways they do it is they clone your account. They take your profile picture, they use your exact same name, and they create a new account that says looks just like yours, but it's to a different email. It's it's attached to a different email than yours. And then what they do is they start finding your friends because they go on your profile and see your friends, and they send invitations out to your friends to try and do that. I saw one this week. A guy that I know here in Tucson sent me a friend request, and there had already been 5 of his other friends who had seen this friend request and responded. Well, I responded, and the first thing that popped up on the chat was, "Hi, how's it going?" I said, "Well, that doesn't sound like this person." I went out and looked, and there were actually 2 profiles for this person. The one that had all of his information, and the other one that had just been created but looked like a duplicate of it. So I unfriended it and notified that guy that he needs to change his passwords. You know? So, yeah, it happens. Facebook is full of nasty folks.
I've seen that happen. Actually, a ton of my friends that happen to with the duplicate profiles. So I do the same as you. I will usually, if I have their actual phone number, I will say, hey, or there's another profile, you need to change your password. But yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah. So very good. All right. Thanks, Melanie. Twyla, how was your cybersecurity week?
This week was good. You know, I told my sister to send me all their spamware and all their phishing emails, but my sister got this text message from a lady pretending like she knew her. She was like, the lady was texting her like, hi, it's been a long time since I spoke to you, and blah, blah, blah. My sister like, who is this? And they're like, oh, I thought you was so-and-so, so-and-so. She was like, no. Yeah, I think he got the wrong number. She said, well, since we're talking, can we go ahead and start being friends? My sister was like, she went in and blocked it, and she sent it to me, and I put it inside the thing. I was like, these people is crazy.
Yep.
Oh, they get smarter and smarter. I told her, don't any text message I see that I don't even open. I don't look like I don't know this person.
Right.
And the lady was trying to have a full conversation, trying to get more information. I was like, no. Don't do that again.
Yeah. A lot of people are starved for attention, and they seek, friendships out and that sort of thing, and they can easily be snagged by these hustlers. So yeah, it's helpful to remind people that not everybody is sweet and angelic, among your family and friends. Say, if you don't know them, don't respond.
Don't respond. And the lady was so sweet. I was like, yeah, she's sweet until she gets what she wants.
She was. Well, when you guys have seen the briefing that I give called How Not to Be Their Next Cyber Scam Victim. In that briefing, I have a slide. In fact, let me see if I can bring it up. Well, anyway, at the end of my briefing, I say, all these people are in a poor, impoverished country, and they're just trying to make a living for their families and stuff. And I said, how nasty can they be? Well, let me give you two examples. One is they go online and, they're talking to you over the phone, and they say, can you hear me? And you answer, yes. And they were recording you, and then they take your yes answer and use it to apply for things like credit cards in your name with your voice saying, yes, give me the credit card. Okay, that's number one. Number two, and I actually heard this one, the scammer was on the phone with this lady, and he said, you sound so warm and sweet, like my grandma. Do you mind if I call you grandma?
Oh.
At the same time, he was stealing her life savings.
Wow.
They are not to be trusted, and they are criminals. So, you got to be careful, and you got to remind your family and friends that they are not out there, trying to give you lollipops. That is not what they're there for. Trying to steal you blind and make you have to live the rest of your life, eating tuna out of a can instead of, dinners. So
yeah, absolutely.
You got to be careful. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that was all for me for this week.
Okay, cool. Ron, how was your week? Anything go on for you, cybersecurity-wise, learning-wise?
Yeah, I kept on going after Security Plus studying, but they always are referencing Azure, and I don't know much about Azure, so I think I might kind of take a side dive into Azure, maybe going for like an entry-level cert. But I'm kind of confused because I thought AWS was the dominant one in government. So I'm not really sure what's the better cert, AWS or Azure.
Well, generally speaking, I would recommend both. But if you're going to learn one, I would say that Azure is a good one because, for example, AWS only authenticates to AWS.
Mm-hmm.
Azure is used for things like infrastructure logins and accounts. So Azure, you can think of it this way, Azure is applied down into your environment where AWS remains a cloud service.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think Azure is more applicable. Chris, would you agree to that?
I can agree to that. My suggestion, I would plug in LinkedIn, see what the demand is if you're desperate for a job in that area. If it's more application-wise and you just want to know, hey, what will be great to get into the federal government, I would say Azure, more from the Active Directory. They do a lot of work with Active Directory, and that's what you're going to be starting with.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you think about it, Azure is a cloud-based Active Directory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, of course, so much more. But
yeah. All right.
Cool. All right. Very good. Keep up the studies. Let us know how it goes. Marcus, how was your week? Anything go on with you?
Good morning, everyone. So I did come across something called Try Hack Me, and they have like little what they call rooms to learn about different paths of cybersecurity. So I kind of started that. I think it was a SOC level 1. I started that, and I don't know if you guys know about this YouTube channel called Scammer Payback.
Yes, love it. The guy with the blue hair.
Yeah. So I was watching him, and there was this one episode where the hackers made like a Google ad or something like that, and people were like clicking on the ad to get customer service support, but actually calling them. I don't know. I thought that was pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. Scammer Payback is enjoyable to watch.
It definitely is. And I came across another video on TikTok. I'm not actually sure the validity of it, but within the video, the guy said that the scammers was using AI to kind of pose as his mother to get money from him. I don't know if they've gotten that advanced with AI yet, but that's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, AI is already there. I mean, for anybody who thinks that, AI is still emerging, it's sort of like a brand new weapon that has been released out to the world, and now everybody's trying to figure out how they can use it best. So we can anticipate that AI is going to show up for a long time, and the challenge we have is that AI can mimic human beings. So the challenge we find is that you're not certain you're talking to a regular person anymore. It may just be an AI output that has been conformed to communicate as if it's a normal human. So that's something for us to remember when you're talking to your spheres of influence, that AI is going to, anybody that uses AI is now going to be able to craft grammar perfect communications. So, for example, remember we used to say when you get a spam or phishing email and it's got bad grammar, well, that's a dead giveaway that the person who wrote it doesn't have English as their primary language. Well, AI is going to overcome that. They're going to use English language, and it's going to be perfect. So you can no longer anticipate that it's going to say things that are going to clue you in. So yeah, that's one thing that we have to be aware of and tell our family and friends. You can't just say if they got bad grammar, they're bad, and everybody else is good. That's not the case. AI is literally improving the grammar of these scammers. So yeah, good one. Chris, anything for you this week?
You get off the mute. I went to a summit on AI with government officials, and it was very eye-opening. Lots of uses in the different agencies with AI, but also a lot of questions to consider. One interesting insight that I want to share with the mentees is you'll find in the private sector a lot of it is go, 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 or let's get it out there fast without knowing the consequences of what you're putting out fast. A lot of the senior agency leaders are more in tune to getting everything correct versus the go. And the go, they want to make sure it's used appropriately and it's used effectively versus let's just get it out there and let's jump in. Just this past week, our president did do an executive order on artificial intelligence, and there's going to be some more documents coming out from this that will be some very interesting reads. And one of the things I can honestly give to the mentees that would be very helpful beyond more Security Plus or more certifications would be reading the special publications from NIST. And to me, that's the free gold. They're very dry reads, but you'll get a lot of information, and you'll also see that a lot of the defense contractors and the government contractors would want people who know the NIST special publications, especially the risk management framework and the cybersecurity frameworks. I'm going to post it on the chat in a moment when I end up finding it, but those are great reads for you. Would also help you if you're studying for Security Plus or any other certifications, just to give you an idea of what the government sees as suggestions for implementing a cybersecurity program.
Very cool. Very cool.
But I use my .gov email to get into these, just to listen to what the leaders have to say, and I want to share that with the mentees and make sure to know, because it's not necessarily a secret. It's the publications are out there. Thank you, Scotty. I see that you have that there. I'll provide a direct link to the special publications as well.
Yep.
But those are good reads to have, and managers and leaders want people who are in the knowledge of that.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Anything else?
How about you, Scotty?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. This week was the Cybersecurity Committee for the Arizona Tech Council, and I have joined that committee as a member. They allowed me to present about CS-Sensei, and the good news is the Arizona Tech Council says, you're on the right track, Scotty. You're looking for the right people, and you're doing the right things and saying the right things. I'm like, cool, great. Glad to hear that. But they had their meeting yesterday. It was virtual. I'm sorry, Thursday was virtual. But what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and finding that guy that cloned his, had his Facebook profile cloned. There were a couple other things, but I can't remember them. Oh, here in the southern Arizona area, they're starting classes in actual, academic classes that are cybersecurity related, and one of them is actually reaching down to 11-year-olds, elementary school, trying to teach them about cybersecurity. Here in the Tucson area, as part of, I think it's Arizona State University, it may be University of Arizona. Yeah, I think it's University of Arizona. They actually have the nation's first, there are more now, but the nation's first cyber range where they actually do exercises and, black hat, red, what's it called, red, blue, black hat, white hat, intrusion detection, exercises, capture the flag, those sorts of things. And they do it all in campus at the university. So they're offering that to these younger students. And one of the local teachers is taking them up on that. And I just saw it in the local newspaper. They were talking about it. And I contacted her, tried to connect to her on LinkedIn and said, I'm available to help. What can I do to help? I also, this was another one, spoke to an individual from the Arizona Cyber Initiative who conducts, during the summer, they conduct multiple cyber boot camps here in central and southern Arizona. And after speaking with the guy for, 20 or so minutes, he's like, I've got to have you come speak to my class. I'm like, great, I'll be happy to. For me, there's value in sharing what I've been through and my enthusiasm about cybersecurity, because I want this to be something that people are happy about doing. They look forward to it. Like for me, it gets me up in the morning. I got up, 3:45 this morning to put together this program. So it's fun. It's enjoyable. And the more interest we put into this, not only for ourselves, but for our families, friends, and neighbors, the smarter we get and the harder the bad guys have to work to steal our money and steal our credentials and that sort of thing. So yeah, an informed consumer is something that you should help everyone become. So that was sort of my week. There were other things, but those were the main ones. I'm really talking up CS-Sensei everywhere I go. Oh yeah, maybe that was last week. I presented to my cyber hygiene, how not to be their next cyber scam victim at a nearby Baptist church. And the American Legion is now contacting me to see if I can do something up in Phoenix. So I'm trying to get the word out. An informed consumer is what we want everyone to be. And you saw, I hope everybody saw my post on Facebook about how you can do that. You don't have to be a dues paying, your paycheck says I do cybersecurity work before you start talking to people. You can do it right now. Use the experience that you have learned and help people around you. You're probably already doing it with your family. You're probably like, hey, baby, did you, patch your phone? Hey, kids, remember to turn automatic updates on. Those sorts of things. It's natural for you because it's something you know, but now go a little bit into the uncomfortable and start talking to people you just meet at the shopping, when you're shopping, or in your local club or your HOA meeting, or, those sorts of things, your civic group, your church, your synagogue. Talk to people and let them know that you're a cybersecurity mentee, and they will literally start coming to you, with things like, hey, can I ask you something? Yeah, sure, and that way you get to help them. You build your skills, you build your network, and people around you feel safer because they know that if something really bad's coming, you're going to let them know. So everybody gets smarter and you get experience. So I highly recommend that you continue doing that. If you're not doing it very much, you might give it a try. So anything else before I go on to the main agenda that we have? Anything else, anybody? Okay. Oh, I did put this in our share in the chat. Bryce sent this to the group called CyberCore. scholarships for service. It's worth a look. CyberCore, or whatever it's called, CyberCore will pay up to 3 years of tuition scholarships to students that are already enrolled, Twyla, students that are already enrolled in bachelor's or master's degree programs. They will provide scholarships if at the end of your program, when you get your degree, you agree to work for the federal government for the period of time that they provided a scholarship. Sounds like everybody wins. So it's worth looking at. See if it will work for you. But they will pay you money now. Oh, okay. There's another one. DOD. DOD. DOD is also involved in this CyberCore, but this is mostly for, as I understand it, non-DOD. But yeah, there are resources available to you. You just have to find them and take advantage of them.
It's
so I thought this, yeah.
That's a second different program that DLD is offering for building tools for the nation in cybersecurity and information technology. So
okay.
that's available for students as well.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. It's
Very
also
nice.
It's also a recruitment program for their scholarships as well. So they're I won't say you're guaranteed a job, but they would ask that in return that you attend their job fairs and probably be picked up by DLD.
Very good. And oh, by the way, if any of you don't realize this, the ability to have or get a background investigation and a security clearance will literally help bump your salary if you do it. And I'll just give you the extreme example. My wife was in DOD, and she possessed one of those clearances that had all those letters after her name. You know, those letters for programs that you know, she can't tell you what those programs are or she'll have to kill you. You know, those sorts of things. She had, you know, you have top secret, you have SCI, and then you have other, you know, compartmentalized programs is what it's called, or special programs. Well, she had a lot of special programs after her name. She went out on disability in 2017. That's 6 years ago. And she is still being called by recruiters because of that clearance that she did have. And they're offering her salaries up to $200,000 a year to come back to work. Okay, so if you're thinking about doing something and you have, you know, two different choices. One is with the DOD or the intelligence community, and the other is, you know, non-DOD, let's say Department of the Interior or the GSA or the OPM. You might look at the difference in salaries. If you can get the clearance, in other words, if you've got a clean background, then maybe it's worth your while to get into the security clearance game. It does pay, and it does keep you employed because clearances are so hard to get. And they still have to, you know, preserve and defend their programs. So it's a good one. I recommend clearances. I had a top secret DOD clearance for, I don't know, 34 years, and it really helped me professionally. So if you can do it, you might consider that as being part of your portfolio that you're building. So on the screen, I think you all can see it. I wanted to go through the incident response team analytics that we had for last month, for October. There we go. The incident response team, as just a refresher, is for people within CS-Sensei. You've got to be a mentor or a mentee to be an incident response team member. And what you do is you collect spam or phishing or other malicious emails, fraudulent emails, texts, whatever, and you report them to the FTC. If any of you are studying for your Security Plus, those spam or phishing emails are known as what? And you're going to need to talk about this if you're in your interview. What are they known as? If a spam or phishing email arrives in your mailbox or on your phone or your family, friends, or neighbors' inbox or phone, what's it called as far as security is concerned?
An incident.
It's an incident, but yes, but what type of incident? Come on, guys.
False.
This is yeah. Go ahead.
I kind of remember it. I always get the false positives and false negatives and stuff.
Okay, here's the way to think about it. It's what your filter, the security filter. Think about it in terms of the security filter, and the security filter. No, it's the reverse.
Okay.
A positive is when the filter says, I found something. That's a positive.
Okay, gotcha.
So a false positive is, I found something, but it's not really something. A false negative is, it let it pass and did not find that it was an actual incident. I heard some, this was one of the other things that went on this week. I listened to the CyberSecurity Today podcast, and he had a person that he was interviewing there, and the guy pointed out, he called it leakage. If you think about it, when you're talking about protecting your systems, you're concerned about your spam and phishing filter. And he called it leakage. In other words, how much stuff leaks through and gets to your customers. It's a great way of thinking about it. Leakage is something that you need to try and stop and minimize. So I want you all to start being able to speak about these sorts of things, because it's going to come up in your interviews. So you speak about it here to each other. Don't just listen to me and Chris, but talk about it. Thank you, Ron, for even trying. If you go into your Security Plus, under Identity Access and Management, you'll see this. It's called a false negative, and it is an incident. I'm sorry, incident response. It is an incident, and it's a false negative because it made it through the spam filters without being flagged as an actual spam or phishing email. Okay? So, good. And it's false negatives. And by the way, those are actual security incidents. And then, of course, after you report it to the FTC, you put it onto our report form so we see that you've done it. So the statistics for October, our numbers were way down from September. September was a very, very busy month, but October was kind of a slow month. But that's okay. We had a total of 3 people who participated as incident response analysts. And oh, by the way, if you were a participant prior to October, you can't claim that you participated in October if you did not make it to this list. So just to let you know, we had a total of 20 sessions. That means me, Twyla, and Marcus logged in to the Federal Trade Commission 20 times and put in reports. We put a total of 35 incident reports, and then I put, last month we had 165 incidents that were reported. This month, 35, not so many, but we at least did some. And the total time spent for everybody, 5 hours and 25 minutes. Minor amount of time. Minor time. It just takes a little bit of practice to get into it, to do it, every day or at least once a month. The top IRT analyst, and you already heard my announcement, the top IRT analyst was Twyla. Yay! Twyla, you did it. That is a big thing. I really appreciate this because this shows the analyst that you all want to be like, if you think about it. Now, there is another group an award that has never been awarded, never in the history of the program. But this month, it was awarded. Twyla actually beat me.
I can't believe
yes,
it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I'm going to read this certificate. It gives me great pleasure to acknowledge that Twyla Smith worked tirelessly last month and surpassed the CyberSecurity Sensei Incident Response Team mentors in her role as a CS-Sensei IRT Incident Response Analyst. During this month, this dedicated mentee filed more false negative incident reports to the federal government than any of the program's mentors, and is now fully entitled to proclaim, "I beat my mentors." Now, if you notice in the signature block, Scotty Ward, founder, lead mentor, vanquished. You beat me at it, Twyla, so congratulations. And then there's a nice quote from Nelson Mandela. It's up to us to make a difference. So congratulations, Twyla. This was the first ever I Beat My Mentors award. And you should be proud to have it. Yep. So remember, it's a combination here. It's a combination of how hard you work and, oh, by the way, how hard I don't work. You know, take advantage of it. If Scotty has a slow month, jump in there. So here's what we give out each month. Anyone that participates, you'll get a certificate of participation. If you were the mentee who submits the most reports, you'll get the top IRT analyst. And any mentee who submits more false negatives than any mentor will get the I Beat My Mentors certificate. Twyla, this month you got all three. Okay? So it's just something that we do to try and help remind you and encourage you to be successful. Because, oh, by the way, Twyla is going to be able to add this to her resume that says, I was given the first ever I Beat My Mentors award because I submitted more false negatives to the federal government than my mentors did this month. That's something that tells something about why a prospective hirer might want to hire Twyla. So if you think about it, here are all the people that have participated so far to date in Incident Response Analyst. Join it. It's fun. And it takes a very little amount of time. You notice we got Marcus, Ron, Melanie, and Twyla, all four of which are online today. So you all are doing the right thing. Keep it up. You're doing well, and I'm very proud of you. Okay? All right. Any other questions? Anything else? I just wanted to give you an idea. Here are the October statistics, and you'll get an idea of how Twyla did it. If you look and you look at my name, you see I do 1, I do 1, I do 2, I do 4, and that sort of thing. Well, Twyla it's obvious she saved up all the reports, or she asked me to send her some. Because remember, I have the Incident Response Team mailbox. And when that gets busy, I get busy, or I ask mentees to help. So you should be coming to me always and saying, give me some reports. I want to file some reports. Send them to me. All right? And that's how you do it. On the last day of the month, Twyla said, I want reports. So I handed her a fistful of reports that had to be filed. If she didn't do it, I was going to. And that's how she did it. You just have to engage. That's all it takes on your part, and you can be like Twyla. So you notice so far, look at this. This was yesterday. Twyla filed 9 more. So it's time to get on the ball, kids. This is how you do it. This is how you become successful. You can either do onesie-twosies like me, or you can jump in and spend an hour or two and reporting them all. Now, one thing that I do want to let you know, and I'll show this in the incident response team mailbox. If you take a look at it, I look in my junk filter, and there's a whole bunch of spam that somebody forwarded to me, but my mail filter grabbed it and said, no, that is spam. So guess what? I didn't do anything with those because my spam filter caught it. So it's not a false negative to me, it's a false negative to the person who forwarded it. But if I run out of ones that make it in the inbox, I'm going to start going into my junk folder here because it came from someone. In this case, it was somebody from the Baptist church that I spoke at this last week, and she forwarded me all of her spam and phishing. But the thing to remember is the longer you wait, the more likely it's going to get caught in the filters. So if you receive something and you report it, that day or the next day or, the day after that, that's probably best. But if you wait till the end of the month, most likely it has already been incorporated into mail filters, and it's going to be harder for me to send it to you because your filter or mine is probably going to snag it. Okay? So it's just, be energetic about this. And like I do, go in whenever you receive it and report it. Receive it, report it. Get it from somebody, report it. Get it forwarded from your mom, report it. That's the way that I do it, and I'm pretty successful at it, except for this month where Twyla beat my pants. It's however it works best for you, but make a difference. You are helping these mail filters to tune themselves by reporting this. And always when somebody sends it to you, remind them that after they forward it to you, they mark it as spam. They don't delete it. They mark it as spam. That's important too. So their local filters will be updated quickly. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, very proud of you guys for participating. Marcus, Twyla, you did a good job. Keep it up. And, I look forward to giving you that triple certificate if you ever get to that. That is a title you should be proud of. I was looking in the on the NIST page for NICE, and they have 3 good videos that I think you all should take a look at. I put it into our chat. One is on resume writing, one is on interviewing techniques, and the other is about the cybersecurity workforce framework. We brought that up a few weeks ago, but it basically points out that, and this is my, my go-to example. When anybody goes into the Air Force, they always say, I want to fly jets. Well, not everybody in the Air Force flies jets, okay? It just doesn't happen. For every one person in the cockpit, there are 200 people in the Air Force that are doing things like, fixing food, that are filling out their paychecks, that are, auditing things or whatever. So everything that goes into a cybersecurity career field is not penetration testing. It's not. So be very aware that, for example, anybody who goes for a CEH certification, that's really nice, but your chances of getting hired on as an entry-level pen tester are very slim. you will probably get hired on to do things like file reports like we do with the Federal Trade Commission. You're going to help with the burden, the administrative burden of cybersecurity. You're not going to be the one out there clicking the buttons to, do an intrusion on your own network and say, ha, I found this person's email. Your chances are slim of that occurring. So this video points out that there are a lot of different skills and a lot of different jobs that are involved in the big thing that we call cybersecurity. So it's a good video to watch, and I do recommend that you take a look at all 3 of these videos. So that's my share for this week. We don't have to go the full hour. If nobody else has anything to share. Anybody? Last chance. Cool. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great Saturday. And next week, the webinars will still be at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. My time changes, but all of you, it's just 8 a.m. Eastern. So I hope you get over losing your 1 hour. Or no, you get 1 hour back. That's right. You get an extra hour of sleep tonight. Enjoy it. All right, everybody. Take care. Thanks.
Thank
and
you.
have a great weekend.
Bye.
Thank
See you guys around.